But before we look ahead, Dan, let's just, I want to talk about Estrada because that is a story with this team. I know the offense is what it is, but that is a guy who, when you go down both lanes of the Jays story here, from a trading standpoint, from a performance standpoint, this is right now worst case scenario. He's not performing, and at this rate, who's going to pick him up?
You know, the walks are way up. The hard hit ball percentage is way up. It's just not been a good year at all for Marco Estrada.
Dan, are guys just sitting on the changeup for him? Is the book out on him maybe?
Well, it's funny. You would think that, Ken, but I mean, 2 years is an awfully long time to have as much success as he's had. I think the book, if you want to say the book was out on him, I think the book was out on him last year, and he had a really good year last year. Not quite as good as 15, but still a really good season. I think he can try to mix it up a little bit more cutters, more curveballs, maybe become more of a 4-pitch guy instead of predominantly a 2-pitch guy. But he was so successful with the same repertoire that he's got now for the last 2 years. I don't know if it's just the book. I think, like everything, there's probably a little bit of a number of things. The defense behind him isn't as good. He's not locating as well. He's falling behind in the count. His command certainly hasn't been what it's been in the past. And, there's always a little bit of an element of good luck or bad luck here. Do you hit the ball at somebody or not? But to me, the most alarming number is the number of walks, really. That is not something we're used to seeing at all from Estrada. And over the last 8 starts, they've been way up.
I mean, in terms of the other pitchers the Jays have, the Stromans, the J-Haps, obviously people with more control, it seems to be a trade market where those guys almost are more in demand than maybe just your typical rental. Quintana, we just saw go to the Cubs. He's a long-term guy. How many scouts do you think are going to be in the building for Stroman tonight?
I think there will be a number, and I think it's a fascinating situation. I think the Blue Jays would have to get blown away by an offer, but I would certainly think that, A, if they're not making phone calls, they're taking phone calls. It's the responsible thing to do as a president or a GM to pick up the phone and hear what other people are saying. But I'm sure there is a lot of interest in Marcus Stroman around baseball right now.
Dan, we were just talking about the next week, if it's going to make a difference to how Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro go about their jobs. In 2 weeks' time. Do you think it will, or do you think they're already on a plan for the rest of this year and well beyond?
I think there are often times, guys, where managers or general managers, or presidents wait until literally July 27, 28, 29. They might say, okay, we'll talk to this GM if we're a buyer. We'll talk to this GM if we're a seller. And again, you can be neither of those. You can just stay the course and ride it out. I think the Blue Jays would have to play really, really well on the rest of this road trip in order to really convince Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins that they should make moves for this year and trade from their farm system. They don't want to deplete an already fairly depleted farm system. And their best prospects are the guys, if they're looking to acquire help, other GMs are saying, all right, well, can I have Bichette? Can I have Guerrero? That kind of thing. So the Blue Jays don't want to do that. They're not going to trade those guys. But if they're going to make minor trades, pick up an outfielder, pick up a reliever, I think they got to go at least 6-1 in the next 7 games. As I think it was you, Ken, who mentioned just as I was coming on, the big problem is not the 5.5 back. The big problem is they're not playing well. They're not playing well enough to be considered a contender, and they're like 6 teams ahead of them between where they are and the wild card spot. They've dug themselves an enormous hole. As we know, like 9 times or whatever it was this year, they were a game under 500, couldn't win, couldn't get to 500, couldn't get over 500, and now they're going to play the Red Sox and the Indians on the road for 7. They're going to have to play great baseball, I think, to convince their bosses that, yeah, they should go out and make some moves.
Dan, you're in a market right now that is in first place, but they have had their issues. They just gave a third baseman $50 million to never come back.
Right.
And this Todd Frazier thing seems like a fait accompli to me. Have you seen Todd Frazier at Fenway today? Has he made an appearance?
No, he's not here.
Not here. We can confirm that.
We can confirm that I haven't seen him here today. So, they've just gotten Brock Holt back off the DL. He missed a couple of months with vertigo, and he's back now. And he's best suited, I think, as a multi-position super utility kind of guy. Yeah, the Red Sox have a couple of issues. Joe Kelly just went on the DL with a strained hamstring. They could use another reliever, but they're going to get somebody. They've got money to spend. They've got a good farm system. They're in first place. They're highly motivated to win. And I think just me personally, I think they're 8 to 10 games better than anybody else in the division. I think when it's October 1st or whatever day the season ends on, I think Boston coasts to a division title in the American League East. Price is getting better. Sale is Sandy Koufax right now. They just got Eduardo Rodriguez back on the DL. And you just look around the field and look at all the talented players they have. And they don't have Big Papi. They're last in the American League in home runs, which is crazy to think of when you think about the Red Sox. But they grind out at bats. They get their doubles. They take walks. Their on-base percentage is good. I think this is a team that might wind up with 90, 91 wins, but they might be a whole lot better than that. I think they're really good. They've got depth. They've got options, and they will be an active team before the deadline.
Should we get used to the Red Sox being at the top of the division for a few years, Dan? I mean, Benintendi, Bogarts, Betts, all under 25.
Yeah, I think so. And the other problem, if you're a Blue Jays fan, is the Yankees have loaded up their farm system. And unlike the Red Sox, I don't think the Yankees are going to make a block. I think the Red Sox could make a big deal this year by July 31st. I don't think the Yankees will make a big deal because they're not going to tamper with that farm system they worked so hard to build up last year. Yeah, they want to contend this year, but I think the Yankees are really building towards 2019 when they're out from under all the big contracts, and then, Harper, Machado, and so many other guys are free agents that year. So the Blue Jays have a couple of problems. They've got two teams that are well run with big budgets, good farm systems, good now and looking to be good in the long term. If you want to look at the positive, there's no team in baseball in my mind that benefits from the addition of the second wild card a few years ago than the Blue Jays, because some years you can be third in your own division but still make the playoffs.
Again, 7 games below 500, but the reality is 5.5 games back of that second wild card spot. We all know how it feels like right now for fans of the team, but the math is a bit more forgiving, so we'll see how this plays out. Dan, have a great call tonight, man. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you.
See you, Dan.
Dan Shulman, live from Fenway Park, Blue Jays Central, beginning 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sportsnet, as the Toronto Blue Jays have 4 games against a first-place team through Thursday. They then leave that first-place team. They go to another first-place team. They go to Cleveland. Weekend set against an Indians team that's been up and down. Minnesota's been pretty good all year, but some people think they're going to come back down to earth in a hurry. Let's play the Jays situation out this way, Kenny, from a July 1st non-waiver trade deadline perspective. A lot of tickets have been sold this year.
Yes.
Okay? They are, however, 7 games below 500.
Yes.
What if they trade Batista? And what if they trade J-Happ to a Milwaukee? Nothing crazy, no Stroman, no Donaldson, but what if that's the level we're talking about, and they're about 8 to 7 games below 500? 2 weeks from today, do people not show up? Do the ratings go down on this network? How do people react? Because the one argument a lot of people make is you can't do that to the fan base unless you do.
But you have to do it smart. I mean,
how do you do that smart?
Well, this is what's terrifying, and Dan mentioned it. Red Sox are going to be looking good for a while. Yankees are going to be looking good for a long time.
I think the Yankees might look better long term.
Are we going to go back to what the AL East was for 15 or 20 years, where it's just the Yankees and Red Sox and everybody else? That's what's terrifying for the Blue Jays. So I think they have to determine how they're going to keep up to the Yankees and the Red Sox over the next 4 or 5 years to make sure that does not happen again. And I think this year, the next few months leading up to the deadline and this winter is going to be very important to determining that, because, I mean, if you trade Bautista, I think you trade Bautista. Would you want to? Probably not. But if it's good for business and it's good for the future, you may have to do it.
I know how they're playing, and I know how it may feel with some of these guys. Batista can still get on base.
He can.
Batista's got some pop.
He's got 16 home runs.
Batista's, I hate to phrase this way, his attitude seems different. He ate some humble pie not that long ago. So, like, this is a Jose in my mind that if you're looking at something that has value on the market.
What are you going to get for him?
Look, you're not going to get a top 2 or 3 prospect in an organization. I think we can all agree on that. But you just can't let guys walk for nothing. That's dumb business. And I don't care who in the Rogers board is telling them different. I don't care who in the fan base they're afraid to piss off. At some point, you got to do what's right.
Here's the thing. They've got their tickets sold for the rest of this year. Now you got to worry about selling tickets for next year. If you trade everybody off and nothing comes in and there's no hope next offseason, that's where you run into trouble. As long as you have hope and you can sell hope, they should be all right.
My problem is if you don't start this properly now,
correct.
You're never mind selling tickets next year, never mind selling tickets in 2019, 2020. If this rebuild isn't approached in a proper way, you're going to have more problems than just the 2018 ticket drive.
I think you have to look at it as reload rather than rebuild. I mean, I hate the term rebuild. I hate it. I think it just reeks of giving up.
But reload is a class term. And I don't think the Blue Jays are
You're
in
talking
that
Red
class.
Sox, Yankees.
Just in any sport.
Cardinals.
Yeah. Like the University of Alabama reloads. That's a thing that reloads.
Be part of
the Jays don't reload.
Be part of that upper tier. And I think the Jays established that they could be part of that upper tier a few years ago when they went out and got David Price, when they went and got Troy Tulowitzki, when they gambled a bit.
But you know what has to happen? And especially with the think tank here at Rogers, if they're really concerned about tickets and ratings, then let Shapiro and Atkins have another $30 million, and we end this discussion.
They've got enough money to play.
They need more, dude.
They've got enough money.
They need more. You see what Boston's doing? They need more. And that ends the discussion, because then you can reload. Then you can be on par with them, because as much money as they spend, they're not Boston, and they're not the Dodgers. And there are teams that just wax them in that regard. If you want to up the ante and be that team every year, do it. Do it. There's a really easy way to do it.
This is a team that offered Edwin Encarnacion more money than anyone else.
They
still didn't get him.
They should have paid Edwin $100 million. They should have paid him $100 million. Period.
He still would have tested the market.
Really? At $100 million? I don't know if I agree with that.